Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we're going to be looking at even more new cards that got revealed, including a brand new special energy that's pretty darn insane, I'm not gonna lie. If y'all are going to go on to enjoy the video here on the second channel and are excited for the new cards, make sure to leave a like in the video, and if you haven't subbed to the second channel yet, make sure to click that subscribe button down below and all that good stuff. But yeah, so originally when Fortress EX got revealed, which I just did a video looking at Fortress, but I actually missed out on two other EXs that were originally revealed alongside Fortress when it first got revealed. And those were Nightlabe and Mimikyu, so I did miss out on a couple of cards, but we'll take a look at them real quick. Of course, Nightlabe EX, for 1 fighting energy, does Angry Grudge, does 20 damage, then you can put up to 12 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter placed in this way, so if you go ahead and put all 12 damage onto your Nightlabe EX, you get to do 100 or 240 damage for 1 energy. 240 for 1 energy is kind of wild. Now, you can increase that damage output. You can play Choice Belt if you want to do 270 to a V Pokemon. And you could combine it with other damage modifiers like Grant, which allows you to do 30 damage with your fighting Pokemon. And that's pretty good. Nightlabe can do a lot of damage for a single energy. Now, yes, it does take 12 damage, which basically does mean you're going to take 120 damage, which does mean you're going to go from 320 HP down to 200 HP, but it's still a really cool attack nonetheless, and being able to do that is awesome. You can put up to 12, so you don't have to go 12. You know, you can go 11 if you want to do, like, whatever, like 220 damage, but it is really cool, and it's for a single energy. Now, Nightlabe, of course, is a Stage 2 Pokemon, so it is a little bit harder to get into play. Obviously, being a Stage 2 means you're going to have to play it with Rare Candy, but it still does a lot of damage nonetheless, and that's really good. The fact that it does so much damage is pretty sweet, and I actually have high hopes for Nightlabe EX. It's not a bad card at all, and it is nice to see a good fighting Pokemon. I feel like fighting Pokemon need to be good again because we do have Miraidon, which is a very good card right now, so having a good fighting EX Pokemon is nice to see. Next up, we have Mimikyu. Now, this is a brand new Safeguard Pokemon. So yeah, Miltank is a pretty strong card. However, Miltank doesn't work against EX Pokemon, but they did just print a Mimikyu, which does work against EX and V Pokemon, basically meaning that prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and V. It only took 2 sets for them to actually make a Safeguard Pokemon for V Pokemon or EX Pokemon, which is pretty funny that they did that. But yeah, Mimikyu is the new EX Safeguarder. It does have 70 HP, so it's a little less, I guess, bulky as something like Miltank is, where Miltank has 110 HP. And looking at all the other Safeguarders like Suicune, Sigilif, Hoopa, they all had like 90 to like 100, 120 HP. So 70 HP is very weak. If your opponent has a way to attack you, it's not too hard to knock out Mimikyu. There is, of course, the brand new Cape of Toughness reprint in this set that we will be getting, which might be a pretty good card with Mimikyu. It does actually have an okay attack, too. For 2 energy, you can put 7 damage counters on your opponent's active. So it's doing, what, 70 damage, essentially? And putting damage counters on isn't bad either over just doing direct damage. There are upsides to that. So not even a bad attack. I mean, 7 damage counters is a lot. You're going to 2-shot most things that can maybe threaten Mimikyu by attacking it. So I definitely like Mimikyu. I think it's a pretty cool card. It is nice to see Safeguard Pokemon get reprinted, even though they can be very annoying to play against. They are still kind of a necessary evil, in my opinion. And this is maybe an upgrade for control players. If there's ever a control deck somebody wants to play, we now have this brand new Mimikyu that can be added into those decks for the EX Pokemon. But yeah, I did miss out on these 2 Pokemon. Didn't read them in my last video, but I am going to get around to doing that. However, we got even more new Pokemon. We got Wingle and Pelipper. Pelipper has a really cool ability here. Wind Letter. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, during your turn, you may either search your deck for a supporter, put in your hand, or shuffle your deck, or put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. So you either get to search for a supporter or put one into your discard in your hand. So you either get to search for one or get it via Seeker effect. Now, that's pretty cool. Now, there is a downside to Pelipper, and that is, of course, we no longer have Scoop of Net in the format. Net in the format would have made this Pelipper a lot more playable. You can't really reuse it as easily, which kind of sucks, but it is cool to see, like, a playable Pelipper. I don't think we've had a playable Pelipper for a long while. We haven't, like, it's been a while since a Pelipper has ever been, like, good. So it's kind of cool that we have, like, an okay Pelipper here. But yeah, Pelipper's, like, decent. Again, its ability is nice to have. But again, without Scoop Up Net in the format, it's a little hard to work with. So it's not the best card on the planet, but it's not that bad either. You get, like, maybe, like, a one-time use out of it without the net. But you can also play it with, like, multiple Pelippers. You can have, like, you know, 2 Pelippers in your deck. You can evolve both Wingles. It's definitely not a bad ability, and I'm curious to see if anybody's going to try to make it work, because it does have the strong effect of getting supporters back from the discard pile, which there is a lot of benefits of that working, and also being able to get back a supporter out of your deck can be really good too if you're in a tight spot. It's a lot more valuable than playing a Luminion, because Luminion is a very big liability when it's on the board. So we'll see what happens with Pelipper. We got another EX to look at. We got Copperajah EX here. Nothing really to write home about. It is a 300 HP Stage 1 Pokemon, so it is very, very, very bulky. But it does have the ability Bronze Body, where it takes 30 less damage from attacks. So right off the bat, this thing has 330 HP essentially, and it has the attack Nosequake, 260 damage, and then you do 30 damage to each of your own bench Pokemon. So 260 is a ton of damage. If you, of course, put a Choice Belt on, you are doing 290 damage to V Pokemon. So you're going to knock out V Stars pretty easily with a Choice Belt. You do have to do 30 damage to your bench, though, and that can be devastating. You can pair this with, like, Champions Festival or Radiant Serena, or you could play it with something like Crystal Cave if you wanted to, if you're just playing like an all-metal deck. Now, this card is a little difficult to build up. Of course, Metal Saucer did rotate. There is, of course, Magnezone you could play, though, to build up the Copperajah. So we'll have to see. Again, it is kind of bulky. I mean, again, it's got 300 HP on a Stage 1, and it even has the ability to take 30 less damage. I mean, if anything, this could be more of a control card, to be honest with you, since it is so tanky, but we'll have to see what happens with the Copperajah. Not terrible, though. Just kind of, I guess, like, mediocre. Next up, we got a few new cool cards. So first off, we got this new Luxray here with the ability Overflowing Ray. Now, Pokemon really like their comeback mechanics, because this set does have quite a few good comeback mechanics, and Luxray is one of them. It's got the ability Overflowing Ray. Once during a turn, if this card is in your hand and you have more prizes left than your opponent, you can play this card onto your bench. So if your opponent has, already taken a prize card and you haven't, you can put this card into play for free. Free Stage 2 is kind of sick, and it's even got a pretty good attack. It does 180 damage. With a lightning and a double turbo, so you can do 160 with a double turbo. Not bad. It's a pretty strong attacker, and the fact that you can put into play for free potentially is kind of insane. I definitely like this card quite a bit. It does offer quite a bit of power to a lightning deck. Like if you're playing like a Flaffy deck or something, you could definitely squeeze this in the deck, because it's pretty splashable. It does a lot of damage. 180 damage is not bad. And the fact that you can put it into play for free is definitely really cool. Next up, we do have the Tinka Tough here. It doesn't do anything crazy, but we do have the big one, Tinka Tiny X, which, for whatever reason, the picture of Tinka Tiny X is not on the screen. I'll probably put it in the thumbnail, but for whatever reason, it's not on the screen here. It does have the attack Humongous Hammer, which does 30 damage for each card in your hand. Now, this is actually not too bad. Now, you can play this with Milotic. Of course, we've seen this before with Galarian, Berserker V, and also the Indeedee. So you can play this with Milotic and just build up a huge hand. You can play this with the Crobat line, which is in battle style, so Crobat never rotated. And you can just build up a huge hand, and 30 times is actually a lot of damage. Now, you are obviously going to be a Stage 2, so you are a little bit slower, but 30 times is actually not too bad. It does work with the double turbo energy, so yeah, it can do a lot of damage. It's a Stage 2. It's not bad by any means. Its other attack isn't terrible either. It does 140 with a Shred effect. A Shred effect, obviously, there's always benefits of being able to shred through your opponent. So, overall, it's not a bad card. I know, for whatever reason, the image is not on Pokebeach. I don't know what happened there, but it's actually not that bad of a card. Next up is the Annihilate BX. I'll look at that. I didn't have to go to the other page because it just popped up. We already looked at that. We got some new items, though. Of course, we got Delivery Drone. Flip 2 coins at both their heads, search your deck for any one card, and put in your hand. That is a very hilarious item. Will this be good? I'm not sure. You could play it in something like Mew, even though Mew already has Cramomatic, which is already a pretty good card. But again, if you get double heads, you're chilling. Now, the odds you do get double heads aren't very high. You can't really reflip the effect or anything, so it's not like you're going to be able to get many chances at it. So, I mean, it's probably not like the greatest card on the planet, but the effect can be very funny. And, I mean, you literally will probably be in a dominant position if you flip double heads. Getting any card you want on your deck is pretty good. It's basically a worse Cramomatic. I doubt it'll see play, but it could be funny. I mean, who knows? Maybe Mew players will start playing it. And I mean, if Mew already was in a high roll sacks, type of a deck, this card kind of seals the deal. We got another cool item card here. Motivational Lemonade. You may use this card only if you have more prizes remaining than your opponent. So, like the Luxray, it's another card that can be used if you're behind in the game. And you heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon. That ain't bad at all. I mean, that's a lot of damage to heal on one card. And if you're playing like something like a little bit tankier, this could be a really good card. This could be cool in like quad decks too. or just like, again, any like big bulky deck can really play this if you are behind in prize cards. So if you just haven't taken any prize cards, you just straight up get to heal 60 damage. Again, that's not bad. 60 damage, once again, is a lot of damage to heal. You can use it, multiple of these in a turn if you want. Make it like a pseudo hyper potion, and then all of a sudden you're healing like 120 damage. So I'm actually kind of a fan of this card. I think it's actually not that bad. Definitely a pretty cool card. Again, it only works when you're behind in prizes, so it's not going to work all the time, obviously. But it definitely is a pretty strong card nonetheless, and I think that it could be pretty fun to play. But as you can see, they are making comeback mechanic cards. We got Iono already that got revealed. We got the Motivational Lemonade. We got this new Luxray, so they really want to make these comeback cards, but they did just make a really cool comeback card. Basically a reprint of a classic card, and that is, of course, the big bad Reversal Energy. This is literally Scramble Energy reincarnated. Scramble Energy was a very, very strong energy card from back in the day, and Reversal Energy is no different. And it is, once again, another one of those comeback energy cards with the effect, if you have more prizes remaining than your opponent, so once again, you have to be losing the game, you can attach this to one of your Pokemon. If this card is attached to an evolution Pokemon that does not have a rule box, it provides 3 energy of any type instead. That is absolutely insane. Scramble Energy, once again, was one of the best cards from back in the day. It's a very, very strong effect. This card is literally Scramble Energy 2.0. The ability to provide 3 rainbow energies like that is ridiculous. Now, they did nerf the card quite a bit. The big thing is it doesn't work on rule boxes, so you can't play this with Vs. You can't play it with the X Pokemon. That would have been a little too good if you could. Imagine if you were able to put this card on something like, Arceus V-Star, or something like, I don't know. You get my point, right? Just being able to not put on UV is very, very balanced. It's just a very, very balanced effect. Not being able to work on rule boxes. It doesn't work on EXs. You can't play it with like Miraidon or Gardevoir or anything. So it only works on non-rule boxers. So it works on one-prize Pokemon. And there are some benefits to that, obviously. There's a lot of one-prize Pokemon. The thing that this card really allows, decks to do is it gives things a comeback mechanic. And it allows those decks to actually thrive. Like slower decks like Stage 1 and Stage 2, they struggle to keep up in the meta. But when you have this energy on them, they will allow you to kind of pop off out of nowhere. And it's a really good card for those, 1 or 2 prize decks. Or those 1 prize decks anyways, I should say. And that's one of the benefits of this card, is it is a great upgrade to those type of decks. I mean, obviously, EX Pokemon and Vs are still very fast, and a lot of one prizers might struggle to keep up with some of them, but because of Reversal Energy now, some of those decks can actually succeed. There are some other funny combos you can pair this, by the way. One combo I've seen is the Centiskorch from Sword and Shield. So in the expanded format, you can play this with Centiskorch and Electrode GX. What you do is you Electrode GX, you put 4 of the Reversal Energy on a Centiskorch, and Electrode puts you behind in prizes, so Electrode would activate the Special Energy, and you put all 4 of them on. You have 12 energy on a Centiskorch, and then you can also put a Counter Energy on if you want to put 14 energy, and then in one turn you can mill 14 cards from your opponent's deck. Now, that's going to be a fun video to make, I'm going to say it right now. But this card is great. I think there's a lot of potential for Reversal Energy. It's a really, really good card, and the fact that they balanced it is really nice, because the fact that it doesn't work on Rulebox Pokemon is a great way to balance it, and I am super excited for Reversal Energy to come out. It's an insane card, and it's a pretty cool card to bring back. Scramble Energy is a great card, and the fact that they brought it back is pretty damn insane. But that is it for some of these new cards that did get revealed. Again, I did miss out on a couple of those, like the Nightlabe and the Mimikyu. But we did get, like, Hopparaja and the Pelipper. But let me know what you think of these cards down below. I think every card we honestly looked at was, like, decent at best. So that is kind of cool to see. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the cards down below. What do you think of the Reversal Energy / Scramble Energy 2.0? Let me know down in the comments below what you think of that down below. There should be a stream VOD going out later today of the live stream I did for day 1 Scarlet and Violet. The VOD's like 6.5 hours, so it's taking a while to like process apparently, but I am excited to get that uploaded, because again, I do want to upload all the stream VODs here over on the second channel. If you haven't subbed to my main channel yet for whatever reason, make sure to go sub to my main channel, because I am posting daily Scarlet and Violet decks, and go follow my Twitch down below too, because I'm streaming hopefully daily Scarlet and Violet decks too. But that'll be it for me. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and again, if you haven't subbed to the second channel yet, click that subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you on another video. Bye bye.